Holla if you hear me, and welcome back, baby. Headaches and hot takes coming right at you. I'm one of your hosts, Shapirian. That's my co-host, Hearn, a.k.a. the third ever subscriber to the YouTube channel, Skibbity Toilet, a.k.a. the legislator behind the Phantom Tax, a.k.a. the guy who went to jail for sticking out his yacht for the Rizzler on a school property. The Herniator. What's up, buddy?
I didn't know it was a school property. Okay?
It's not clearly marked, and it's one of those things where it's like within 300 yards. It's like, what?
Right.
What kind of rule
I was
is
like,
that?
I'm just sticking out my yacht. All right. Why are we acting like that? I don't know.
The Rizzler is here. I always have that yacht with me. You do, at least.
Right.
And so, what do you want me to do, bro?
I think dude was just jealous. I think he was just jealous that somebody else was sticking out their yacht.
Swear.
It's like, get over it, bro. This is just a power trip. Oh, my God.
I'm going to take a second and show off the tee because, weirdly enough, from my angle, it looks like I'm wearing a plain red tee. Does it look like that for you, too?
No, I see the stars across your bosoms, and I see...
Multiple bosoms.
You do have two bosoms.
CBH, baby. Let's go, Black Hawks.
Do you
have two bosoms? I thought your bosom was just your chest.
I thought bosoms
is breast.
Another word for titties. That's what I thought. Let's see what the definition of bosom is. Place your, it might be across your bosom. It might be. How you spell
I think
bosom?
That's what it is.
Spell bosom.
I could be wrong. I just knocked my whole camera, bro.
Spell bosom.
BOSOM. Just so you know, I somehow made my thing stop recording for about half a second. It's going to be seamless. It's like half a second.
Oh, my God. You did it again.
Yes, I know.
A bosom is a woman's chest.
Yeah, one bosom, not multiple bosoms.
Or it could be as an adjective of a friend. It means close or intimate. The two girls had become bosom friends. Are we bosom friends?
Or are we just bosoms? So. Are we just bosoms?
I thought you were...
I'm trying to help you. You're my bosom. I'll do anything for you, bro.
Turns out you're just bosom. I like to call us bosom friends. I'm about to tweet that. Like,
yeah.
Yo.
No, I've always said this, actually. I've always said that we were good bosom friends. So I don't know.
This is something that I live by.
Why anybody's surprised. I've always said this. Mm-hmm.
But then this does say that a woman's breasts are sometimes referred to as her bosom or her bosoms.
So it looks like you're right.
So it could be. But I think it's one of those situations where technically bosom is correct, meaning your whole chest. And it specifically does say a woman's chest. I don't know why it's sexist. And excludes
well, I mean, because
half the population.
We don't have breast tissue. And they do.
But we do have boobas. We got boobies.
Not in the same way, though, you know? It's not really the same.
Yeah, I agree. I'm only attracted to one. Woo!
This is not a conversation that we need to open up on the pod because that's a very heated conversation for some people.
Okay, right? I guess it could be.
You didn't know. Yeah. You know what it is, right? I mean, surely you've seen it.
Okay. People are asking.
You've never seen this. These people that are like, I think I should be able to see topless women everywhere I go, and I'm like, kind of hot take, but okay.
Yeah,
it's a very contentious
Dude, I thought
thing.
about this literally like yesterday. We were riding around. And I can't remember how we got on this subject, but like Hooters, Twin Peaks, obviously like a gentleman's club, whatever. Is there no bigger sign of I'm a creep than walking into one of those places as a grown man?
Absolutely, bro.
Like you are such a creep for going to one of those places, especially these guys. Like and they're filled with them. I'm sure.
I imagine
there's like 55-year-old men in there. What are you doing?
Maybe they'll like me. What if one of them likes me, bro?
And then they're in there flirting, like, and some of the
business model revolves around the waitresses flirting back, and so they're like, "Oh, she's feeling me, bro."
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, dude, is there? And I did think that was whenever I was talking about it, I thought that was like the natural progression. Like Hooters, if you go to Hooters, whatever. I've honest to God, I've never set foot in a Hooters. So I don't know.
How would you go as an adult?
So yeah, as an adult. This is all as an adult. This is all under your own willpower. If crazy Uncle Steve is taking you to Hooters, sorry about it. You probably enjoyed it with Uncle Steve, but Uncle Steve is a creep. Okay? Yeah. Uncle Steve is a creep, and it's time to acknowledge that.
Screw that,
and
Uncle
I think
Steve.
It goes Hooters.
I have an Uncle Steve. In-laws.
Apparently Twin Peaks is like much worse.
I don't know what that is.
I didn't see him until we got in Knoxville. They had one because people at my work would lie to their wives. they would lie to their wives like once every 3 months and say they had to either work late or work on a Saturday, and they would go to Twin Peaks afterwards, all of them. Which is like...
And spend money
again,
there that shows up on your bank account?
I guess they had cash. I don't know. Maybe their wives weren't that smart. So, from what I understand, Twin Peaks is worse. But like we were driving by Southern Exposure. That's what it was.
Southern X, baby.
Southern,
I've never been,
like,
obviously. I should make it sound like I've been there. Let me be very clear here. Little innocent Shapirian's never been to Southern X. What?
You got excited when I said that.
Dude, it's such a staple of Southern West Virginia to make fun of Southern X, dude.
Southern Exposure.
We used to make fun of that all the time when I was working at Starbucks. Well, some of the strippers would come in as regular customers. 2 of them.
Oh.
They were super nice.
What was the
But then, like, they'd walk out the door and somebody would fill in the new person, which at one point was me, and be like, you know what they do? They work at Southern Exposure.
Would they read, like, was there a name for their order, like Candy? Or was it like...
No, regular. Yeah. I don't remember any of their names, for what it's worth. But no, it was nothing weird. And there was one person who reportedly, and dude, you would not... Dude, I can't even believe I'm going to tell this. This one woman did come into the Beckley, West Virginia Starbucks on the regular as well, who was reportedly an adult film star. And she regularly had bumps resembling an STD on her mouth. So bad, right? It's like, yuck. And honestly, seems like a super sweet lady. Really did.
Hey, I mean, you know, I don't know. I can't answer to that, but
you never saw it.
And I do want to say, because you had to give the disclaimer whenever you got really excited whenever I talked about Southern Exposure. Obviously, we were driving by Southern Exposure because it's right off the interstate.
Yeah, it's literally right off the interstate, actually.
So it's like Southern Exposure, like you see it for like a mile when you're driving. So
there's also like 10,000 billboards for it in the area.
Yes.
That's part of why it has this whole, persona of like Southern X, yeah, baby. Like, I've never been. I did tell my dad, and I wonder if he remembers this. Dad, if you're listening, we know you are. Tell me if you remember this story. They had a commercial one time that came on during Monday Night Football, okay?
Whoa.
And it's just like, no. You wouldn't believe this commercial. Totally clean, PG, whatever. It's got like 2 guys sitting down, eating food, and then there's like a shot at the bar, and they are talking to like a woman bartender, right? And they're like, a good place to come hang out with your friends. And I remember telling my dad,
we should go there
in the living room. I'm like, you should go there. And I named one of his friends. You and one of your friends should go there. And he looked at my mom. He's like, you hear that?
I got permission.
I should go to Southern Exposure. Dude, how funny is that? Because I didn't know. And it's like, it's a gentleman's club. I'm like, I don't know what that is. I literally told my dad he should go there as like a 6 or 7-year-old.
Right. Yeah, it's harmless.
Yeah.
Harmless. But that's like, I just don't want to, and I understand, like you said, like the women's tips and half their salary and yada yada is based on them being flirtatious back and stuff. But if you're just a creep, if you are an adult and you regularly frequent I would say if you're an adult and you've voluntarily gone into a strip club more than once, what's the cutoff? At what point are you like, hey, bro?
Like, there are people who would be considered like, I mean, look at pro athletes, bro.
Right.
They're going to them in like every city they're in. Not every single athlete, but there are athletes, namely James Harden and Lou Williams, who have gained reputations for the fact that, like, if I'm in a city, y'all know where to find me, bro. Okay,
I don't understand.
Somebody ran James Harden's stats when he's in like hub cities versus like when he's not, and like the night after he stays in, I guess, a city that's known for its strip clubs, he always plays worse. It was hilarious. This was years ago at this point.
There was some comedian that said this, and I can't remember exactly how the context of or how they set it up, but it was like, I've never understood and I agree with it. I've never understood the concept of going to a strip club with like all your buddies or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, you want to go sit down and just stare at women together?
It's so
like
weird.
It's so weird. It's so weird. I don't understand. I don't get it either. So, creep alert. If you have frequently visit Hooters, Twin Peaks, or any kind of gentleman's club, and it only gets worse as you go up that list,
Feel free to click off the podcast right now. That's right. Us. Dying for your listen. Don't want your listen in particular. If you're out here regularing Hooters.
Don't want no creeps in here.
Real rap. Have you... Oh. You know the song Creep by Radiohead, right?
Love it. Yep.
You love that song?
I do.
So there's this one video of this one guy. He's like a bigger black man, right? And he's making fun of how like attached to the song Creep some white people are.
Okay.
Full disclosure, not my thing. Radiohead's not my favorite. Just being honest.
Same.
Not a hater.
Same. No.
But not my favorite. And Creep's not my favorite song. Pentatonics
Same.
has a cover of it that I do like. I like anything those
I have
guys
to listen
do.
to that.
Love it. I heard him sing it live, bro. It was so good. Anyways, he was like going over, he's like, white people just like to feel hurt for some reason. And he's like going over the list. He's like, I'm a loser or something like that. I think he says that, right? Doesn't it?
I'm a weirdo.
Maybe. And he's like, white people just have this innate want to feel like a loser. It was so funny to me. And he's like, and wait for it. There's this part right here that's really important to the white people. And he's like, wait for it. And there's like a guitar strum. It's like, or whatever at some point. And he's like, that part. I don't know what it is. They love that part. It's a hilarious video. And I'm like, that is a very white person song. I'm kind of proud I don't love it that much, you know?
I recently saw, well, not recently, I did see forever ago a thing, and we've talked about this, that said that Mr. Brightside is this generation's Don't Stop Believing.
I agree with that sentence.
The only way it is the same is that I think most of this generation knows that song, knows a good portion of the words.
And would sing along to it in a crowd at a moment's notice.
They will.
Sweet Caroline.
That's where my list of similarities for those two songs end. And I know that's going to be a hot take to some of our listeners. Don't Stop Believing, at its core, overplayed, sure, so is Mr. Brightside.
Yeah.
At their core, Don't Stop Believing is twice the song that Mr. Brightside is.
Don't Stop Believing has more of like an epic feel to it once it gets going. But I don't know. Mr. Brightside really captures the mood of a whole era really well. I love Mr. Brightside. I'm a big Mr.
I think so
does.
I think so does Don't Stop Believing. I
Comment.
I don't dislike. Huh? Oh. I'm coming.
Just over and over again.
For anyone who doesn't know, Fortnite recently added this thing where there's popular songs in the game that you can sing, you can play the guitar to, play the drums to, whatever you want to do. But you can also stop singing it, playing the guitar, playing the drums at every point. So what we do, what a lot of people do, Mr. Brightside's in the game. It starts off with, I'm coming out of my cage. That's where that starts.
Yeah.
A lot of people stop after, I'm coming.
You get a kill, and like they're watching you, or they're just sitting there waiting to get revived, and you're right on them, and you just start. And the way they dance, they go,
yeah,
I'm coming, and then you stop.
It's so stupid. And then my favorite with it is when,
yes, say this.
Okay, I hope we're talking about the same thing.
Yes, we are.
Gangnam Style is also in the game, and apparently its vocals start with.
Yeah, and
so what'll happen is people will combine the two, and we'll get a kill, and you'll be up there going, "I'm coming," and I'll go, It's so stupid, but it's
rated
so
T for teen.
Yeah. I'm coming.
Oh god.
What a great sound clip to have out there forever on the internet.
It's a thing. We didn't come up with it.
No.
People came up with it. They're like, I love. The first time I saw it was a tweet when they were like, I love this new feature. They get to go, they go, I'm coming, and they keep running. That's it. Oh man, that's so stupid, dude.
To go back, I don't want to make it out to be that I'm hating Mr. Brightside.
Let's get back to Mr. Brightside.
I love Mr. Brightside. I think it's great. In my opinion, I'm always going to say Don't Stop Believing is better. I don't disagree that Don't Stop.
This generation's version of that song, though. It's the whole point of it is like you can sing it, play it like I would imagine in a bar, group setting, sports game, basketball games especially, right? They play Mr. Brightside at football games, right?
Oh, for sure.
And the whole crowd will just sing along happily, whatever. It's a thing. It puts people in a good mood. That's why they're saying it's this generation's version of it. They're not saying
it is
1-to-1. So what's the deal? You're saying it is this generation's version of it, but
I said it is. It is this generation. I can't think of another song, another anthem, whatever the word may be, that is more universally.
For sure. I have one.
Yeah, I can't think of one.
I have one.
What?
Anthem's in the title, bro. Maybe perhaps the best song of all time, Party Rock Anthem.
Party Rock Anthem.
I'm just kidding. Bro.
For some reason, I thought you were gonna say Seven Nation Army, and I was thinking if Anthem was in the name of the band. I don't think it is. I can't even remember.
Dude, Seven Nation Army. Hardly anybody knows the freaking words to. You just know the beat. You just know the bass riff. That's it. That's all you know.
True.
Most people. Not you necessarily. Not me. I know some of the words. I'm going to Wichita. I know that part. That's funny.
Okay.
I was doing that emote to that song in Fortnite because there's a part where it's so stupid. You can do whatever emote you want while the song plays. And I got one where the guy goes, he's walking like this. So stupid. Oh, what's wrong with
I'm coming out of my cage and I've been doing just fine.
Literally, yeah. What's wrong with us, bro? You could absolutely do that.
Speaking of songs,
yeah.
You asked me recently, you said, hey, buddy, what is an embarrassing song that you just cannot help to sing or dance along with to? Right? I think it's more or less exactly how you worded it. And I was like, buddy, honestly, I think most people would consider 10% of my liked songs on Spotify to be cringy.
Maybe more than that.
All right. So thanks. You don't know what my liked songs look like.
Just to guess. No, but I know enough. I don't know enough about your
bold
music taste to say that I think most people would take it that way. How's that a bold statement? I'm not even being offensive. Mine's worse.
How do you know? How do you? Okay.
We had a whole podcast episode about the music we listened to, bro.
Yeah,
and about our Spotify Wrapped. Your number one song was Disco Miniature Golfing Queen from Phineas and Ferb.
Because I filmed a TikTok with it.
Bro, you must have been hammering the takes on that TikTok. So I've listened to it that many times.
It was the first one I ever made. It was the first TikTok I ever
I'm just making fun.
I'm going to sit down and I'm going to film those things. Yeah, it did take me a while. So, with that being said, stupid, what is do you have a song, a number one song that you think man, this is embarrassing, but I can't help. I want to hear.
There's a song that provoked this specifically. And apparently, it's well known for this person's performance at the Super Bowl, but I don't remember this person's performance at the Super Bowl. This performance is better known for Janet Jackson apparently flashing the whole crowd. Justin Timberlake's performance. He has a song called "Rock Your Body." You know that song? It's so.
I'm sure I do because I love Justin Timberlake.
It's so good. Are you good? Are you gonna play a second? Will you take a second for you to pull it up?
I'm gonna play it right now. "Rock Your Body." Let me see.
Yeah. It's so good. I love this song. God, I love this song. But it's so stupid. It's so good. And at the end, he's like, "Better have you naked by the end of this song." Yeah. So, I love that song. Every time I hear that song, I'm like, yeah, turn that thing up, boy. Okay. Let's go.
That's much less embarrassing than mine. The one that I thought of, probably one of the most, it's not necessarily the most embarrassing, but it is probably the most, if we're walking around Kroger and the song comes on, I'm out loud singing it and dancing in the middle of every aisle.
Yeah.
And that is "Wannabe" by the Spice Girls.
Is it really?
Dude, I love that song. I think it is such a
unironically, the whole song. Wow.
Unironically. I at my last job, which was again a warehouse job, full of the TikToks I've made, full of the manly men who only listen to rock and or metal. That's all they listen to. I was the guy over there jamming "Wannabe," dancing around, singing every song, singing every lyric. I think it's great. If you wanna be my lover, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah. It's a fine song. I have nothing against that song.
It's
pretty well known too.
Right. That's what I said. That's what there's I would sit there and I'd be jamming, and there's always that tough cookie to crack. To crack. That he's over there and
why do you say that?
I don't know why I said that.
No, it's the same, but we don't crack cookies though.
I think it's a tough nut to crack, isn't it? I think it's.
You're a tough cookie. Yeah, you said tough cookie to crack.
I said I combined two phrases.
Are we sure that's not a saying? You keep talking. I'm gonna Google that.
Okay. It's I'm over there and "Wannabe" starts over my speakers, and I'm over there dancing. If you wanna be my lover.
That is a saying.
And the guy's like, that is a tough cookie to crack.
It is a saying. Mm-hmm.
See?
It is a combination, a congruent conflation of tough cookie and a hard nut to crack. It's a thing.
See?
People say it.
We
There you
know
go.
what we're doing.
We're on it. We're on it, bro.
And at
some
first
hot
he's
takes.
like, "You're playing this," and then I sit there and I like stare him down as I'm sitting there dancing, pointing at him as I'm singing something.
Were you playing
if
out
you
loud?
Be my lover. And then he slowly like start to crack like okay, like it's kind of funny. That's my favorite.
You play it out loud at this job?
Oh yeah, y'all do that. Okay,
I was wondering how you knew that. That was something that did come into my head. I'm like, how are you hearing this? Did you play Disco Miniature Golfing Queen out loud at a warehouse full of men?
No, but I would.
Okay,
absolutely
got you.
would.
Dude.
I'm
are you
trying
listening
to
to
look
this
through
out loud?
some of my. I had a Scott's Bops playlist on
Bops.
Spotify that I would play sometimes.
Yeah, boy.
"Baby One More Time" by Britney Spears.
Great song. Great song.
I am belting every word.
Yeah.
Obviously, "Wanna Be," Spice
Yeah.
Girls, 9 to 5, Dolly Parton. That's not really embarrassing if you don't like 9 to 5 by Dolly Parton.
Good song.
Oh,
That's not
yeah.
embarrassing. That's an all-timer. Dude, the beat is so good for that song too. And like the background noises being made of like regular everyday things, if I'm not mistaken. They're at least imitating that. I love the I don't know what it is. It sounds like a typewriter or a pencil or something. It's so freaking good.
I always thought
If
I
you're listening, you
thought
might
that
be
might
confused.
be spoons, but I think you're
Might be
right that
spoons.
it could be typewriter. I think typewriter could be correct.
It's so good though. My wife's obsessed with Dolly Parton. I've grown to really, really love Dolly Parton as well. I think she's
great.
She is hailed as a goddess in the great state of Tennessee. So
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, do you have any others that you were like maybe this one could be embarrassing as well, or is
not really
your number one?
But you did make something come into my mind. It's not really embarrassing for me, more so embarrassing for the other people. And I felt like, yeah, it's that for sure. Kind of an out of body experience, if you want to call it that, for how weird it was. The very first time I ever went to a Trader Joe's. You ever been to Trader Joe's?
I don't think I've set foot in one. No.
Barter Joseph's. Yeah, Barter Joseph's.
Joseph's.
The first time I ever went in there, I'm like, I don't know what to expect. I can tell everything's like all natural, which is fine. That's what I was going for. That's what I wanted, right? I'm not making fun.
What were you in there for?
Just to try out the things I'm best known for, which would be at that point they're everything bagel seasoning. And
What a freaking course! Can you go an
What?
episode without talking about bagels? Can you?
you asked, whore. What do you want from me?
You would have brought it up. I promise you would have brought up bagels.
We planned to bring it up, dingus.
We did.
We planned to bring it up.
We did.
5 minutes before we went live, we were like, let's ask the listeners.
Oh yes, that is correct. We did.
Yeah. See? So yes, it was going to come up this
Still,
episode. Just something
fact
you
of the
agreed
matter
with.
stands. You will sneak bagels into every episode. I'm convinced.
Breast breakfast food.
Breast.
They are the
Bosom.
breast breakfast food.
Bosom breakfast food.
They are the bosomest of all the breakfast foods.
Ooh, the bosom.
That's breakfast food for sure. That's what they're known for. But like they put that seasoning on other stuff. People using like cream cheese to make dips and stuff like that. I was like, I'd like to try it. And there's a couple other things. So like they had a blueberry milk. It was really good. Almond milk, for what it's worth. So that I just wanted to go ahead and try it out. Okay. I was also vegetarian, and they have their own brand of certain vegetarian things like tikka masala, chicken tikka masala, but it's vegan. It's fantastic. Yeah. So that's why I went to Trader Joe's. We got way off topic. I go in Trader Joe's, and I'm going around, and if you don't know, Trader Joe's, more than any other business in the company, has the highest grossing like amount per square foot of store space. More than Walmart, more than
How do you
Kroger, more than Target.
How or why do you know that?
I don't know why I know that.
Are you just Googling Trader Joe facts? Unknown
do I
Trader
know
Joe
that?
facts. Why do you know that?
Why do I know that? Why do
Either
I
you're
know
making that
that?
up on the spot, or you know that. I don't know which one's weirder.
But it's interesting. Well, you've never been to one, you said, right?
No, there's one 5 minutes down the road, and I know
They are like cramped. You will be cramped going down the aisles, and you will see things like near each other, and you're like, why in the frick is that here? And at the top of all the freezer aisles, there are dry store things, like as you're going by as well. Like they do like cram stuff in there, okay?
Okay.
So it's a very close experience, things like that. All of this is to say Trader Joe's is kind of a weirder spot if you've never been to a grocery store. It's a little weirder, right?
I forgot how we got here, so wrap me back in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll wrap, I promise. There's a meme about like, flirting with your Trader Joe's cashier, or like them flirting with
your
you.
Trader
I'm like,
Joe's cashier.
stupid, right?
They're
Stupid
so
stuff.
skivity.
Idiot behavior. Degenerate behavior. All of this to say is I'm going in there and like they're playing music like any other store, okay? There's people handing out samples in the back. Whatever, it's fine. Kind of small, but fine. And Party in the USA comes on.
Ooh.
And every person in the store starts singing and dancing to it. Every person in the store. Every single person in the store. Didn't do it to any other song. Whatever. I'm going by and I'm like...
That's one. I would be too. I promise.
Is this what it was like to be in Harlem Shake videos? Like, what is going on? It's my first time. I'm like, does everyone sing and dance in here? Am I the a-hole for not singing and dancing?
Am I?
You know those posts.
Yes. One of these days, we're going to do a video reading those. And we're going to agree or disagree if they are the...
r/AI... Well, it don't have to be family friendly. I'm not going to say the word, but you can say it if you want. r/AITA. So, yeah. That's literally the subreddit. That's the subreddit.
Okay. I was like, I'm trying to piece
AITA.
what is this man speaking? Okay, I got you.
Yeah. Am I the a-hole is the subreddit. So,
Am I? People are asking.
I don't know. Was I for not singing Party in the USA? I wasn't judging them for it, but I didn't want to do it.
No, I wouldn't say you were a butthole for that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say their buttholes for singing it, though.
No, they weren't. It was just like, is this what it's like in Trader Joe's? It's never happened since. I've been back 25, 30
The Trader
times
Joe
at least.
experience, I think.
Right. And that's still like the most definitive experience I've had there. It's like, yeah, the first time I went, everyone started singing and dancing to Party in the USA. I'm not talking like coming in so delicious, like not like that kind of dancing, but it was just like they're walking around and they're all just like
delicious.
All the white ladies, which is all that was in there.
All the white ladies. All the white ladies. All the white ladies. Put your hands up.
In the Trader Joe's. In the bar of Joseph's. So I think
in the Trader Joe's, just turn up.
Sounds like you would love Trader Joe's. You should
Looking
go.
for my bagels.
Cheap produce that is high quality is one of the reasons you should go there. For what it's worth.
You are a spokesman
And they
for Trader
do-
Joe's this episode. At Trader Joe's, if you're listening, sponsor this episode because this man has spoken highly enough about you.
I love Trader Joe's. Yeah. And something that they don't advertise, but is one of the reasons you should go there, is because they sell like brand name things under the Trader Joe's label that are one for one. One for one, the exact same, like from the same factory, can be traced back, produce the exact same
How do
packaging.
they do that? How do they get away with that?
They have a deal with whoever produces
Whoever
something
doing
with it, whether it be the factory or some sort of loophole or something. Yeah.
Okay. Alluding to our main subject tonight. I like it.
Maybe I was. I don't know. Maybe I was.
you were.
Maybe it's a mystery. You totally didn't click on here knowing what we're going to talk about or anything.
What did he mean when he said the main name?
I think he said that's going to be the main thing, is what he meant. How about that?
That
I think
said,
I've yapped enough. Why
that
don't you
said,
lead us into what else we're going to talk about today?
let me do some yapping. Welcome to the headache and/or hot take of the week, baby. It's
And/or.
my week, and/or it could be both.
Yeah, well,
this week,
could be end.
This week, admittedly, it's a headache, but it's something that I think a lot of us have encountered. I don't know, given the current animal situation in your household that you have encountered specifically what I'm talking about, but
I
it's
have dogs, is
not
what you're saying.
outlandish to be like, I'm sure you could imagine it if you haven't
Okay.
experienced this. Imagine this, if you will. Imagine you're just walking down the street. Maybe it's in your neighborhood, wherever it's at. And here comes a person that you've never seen before, sprinting at you at full speed. Okay? What are you going to do?
Okay.
Are you going to like just stand there and like, maybe they're coming for a hug?
Not even
Or
a
are you
little
going to
bit.
like kind
If
of
I'm-
brace for
especially-
impact? Are you going to run?
I'm
What are you gonna do?
immediately going into defensive mode. I'm
Right.
thinking, where's the nearest weapon? Don't sprint it.
Okay. Okay.
If I'm packing heat, which I don't own a gun. If I'm packing heat, though, I'm taking it out of the holster. Like, don't freaking run at me. I'm such a paranoid person. You
I'm
will
at
get
least
collapsed.
I'm at least readying. Like, okay, let's see what this guy does. Sprinting at me full speed with no reason as to why. Mm-hmm. So then, why do you people with off-leash dogs? If you have ever walked with an off-leash dog, your arrogance. Oh my God, it boils my blood, your arrogance. Well, he'd never mess with somebody. That's fine. If your dog is the most well-trained dog on the planet, which first off, if they were, they wouldn't be sprinting at another dog. They would not pay attention to that dog.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe they are trained enough, and in this situation that spurred this, it was like a couple weeks ago, my wife and I were walking our dogs with our baby, around our neighborhood.
Yeah.
And here comes this, it wasn't a pit bull, but it was a very large dog, 60-pound dog, let's say, sprinting at us across the field. And we're like, okay. I picked up our elderly dog. He's 14 years old. He's not going to survive a fight. So I pick him up, and I'm trying to get a hold of the other one, the 7-year-old dog, to make sure he doesn't get into the fight while my wife is securing the baby in the stroller. The owner, I guess, is on a bike. He won't come over there. He won't come over there. He's like biking behind the dog. I don't know that. And the fact of the matter is, you don't know that.
And he's running at me.
I don't care how well trained your dog is. I'm not going to trust this dude I've never met's opinion on this dog to not come F me or my family up. I'm not going to believe you. And then what, are you going to fault the dogs for reacting to a person in their eyes sprinting at them full speed? That's I think.
Wait, the metaphor was to say that dogs are viewing it as another, like the equivalent of another person sprinting at them.
Yes.
Is that why you meant that? Oh, that's kind of a good point. It's kind of a good point.
Because there's been people on our Facebook page before, on our community page, talking about that, like, oh my gosh, like off-leash dogs, whatever. Well, your dogs just must not be well trained if they're freaking out. Okay, let me place you in the middle of a parking garage, and I'm going to place this 6'7" man that you've never met before, and he's going to sprint at you top speed. And you just stand there. You're an idiot. Like, oh my God.
Also, not to mention, people have dogs, and like, say that you just got your dog. Are you going to not take them in the park until they're until your dog's graduated from Harvard?
Right.
To like, well, he must not be that well trained. What if I'm training him right now?
Right.
Like,
and fact of the matter is, a well-trained dog is probably going to want to defend its owner even more so than a not trained one. So in the same scenario of another dog sprinting at you and your dog, they're probably going to react even more. Snarling, growling, barking, whatever. It's just, I don't understand. I cannot imagine being so arrogant to think, not my dog, they're fine. I'm going to walk around this park off leash. You're so stupid. And the problems you could be causing for other people, and again, anybody, and it's probably the people with the freaking off leash dogs, anybody saying like, well, your dogs doesn't sound like they're well trained. I'd say again, a person sprinting at you full speed, you're just going to stand there? Are you that stupid? I don't understand.
You won't just stand there. No balls. No balls.
You won't. I don't know. I mean, fact of the matter is, in that situation, the dog sprinted at us. It did. It got within like 20 feet of us and then pivoted and continued down the road. And its owner was on the thing, and he's screaming sorry the whole time, like whatever. But obviously, our dogs are real riled up. You know, they did not have a fun time. Mm-hmm. So, and I sincerely thought, I was like, who's going to get effed up right now? It's either going to be me trying to hold our 14-year-old dog, or it's going to be our 7-year-old dog who actually gets into the fight with it. Or it's going to be a big dog.
Must have been a big dog.
It was bigger than our 7-year-old, and he's 50 pounds. So I was like, this dog could cause some damage. Or, God forbid, it was going to be my wife and our baby.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
So I was like, what again?
I don't think it's a hot take.
What are we doing?
So you did say it was a headache.
It's a headache.
I don't think it's disagreeable at all. I think you're making a lot of sense. I do know one person who, in this very specific scenario, I can promise you, having seen this person with their dog at the park before and walking down the streets of my college town, like, that was the most chill dog who would walk at the pace of its owner and stop with its owner. Wouldn't do anything. If the owner stopped to talk to somebody, he'd just, like, lay there, like, get comfy. Like, okay. Mm-hmm. And he did say that he had off-leash dogs run at him one time. We talked to this person quite a bit, right? He's like, off-leash dogs have ran at us before. And, like, my dog, because he's trained to just stay with me and stay still, is kind of just like, I don't really know what to do here. And he's like, I don't know what to do in this case. Because, like, I'm obviously a proponent of it. But, like, at the same time, I'm doing this because I know for a fact my dog will not go anywhere. So, I don't know. Maybe it's kind of a gray area. Are you totally against it in general or what?
I think that at the end of the day, it is an animal. So no matter how well trained you have it, if I'm walking around with hot dog bits in my pocket to train my dog or whatever, and your dog gets a whiff of that, maybe he's going to say, screw that training, I want that hot dog. I would never. Our dogs, I believe, compared to most, are like well trained. They're not going to go sprinting away, whatever. Would I ever go off leash? Like I said, it's one of those things. It's like, God, I don't want to get political, but it's like the whole mask or don't mask with COVID.
Okay.
It's not so much for you; it's more for the other person.
Yeah, I get that completely. It's completely. I'm such a proponent of the rights of everyone. I'm not going to get political for the most part here. Your rights are fine until they infringe on anyone else's rights. If our rights intersect and your right to do something intersects with my right to do something else, you should not have the right to infringe upon me, I don't feel like.
Right.
Which is what the mask conversation was. That is what you having your dog poop in my yard does. Mm-hmm. Oh, he's just going. That's a thing. Like, that's still a thing. People let their dogs. I'm going on a walk in this guy's neighborhood. Oh yeah, just go real quick. Yeah, go wherever you want, and you won't pick it up. No, that's so crazy to think that I have to watch out for your dog's poop in my yard.
It's stupid.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. So
it's stupid.
So
yeah, that's my. That's
my. Think about it.
Yeah, that would be my thing. It's not so much for you; it's more for me because you don't know. My dog's elderly. Maybe my dog isn't trained at all. Maybe my dog isn't trained yet. Whatever the case may be, just stop being.
What if your dog's trained to is like you said, is trained to defend you and I would take that as a threat. A dog's probably gonna take that as a threat. And if your dog's trained to attack upon threats, I mean that's a whole other discussion maybe. Yeah. But who's gonna be mad then, right? The guy who why'd you let your dog do that? Your dog was off the leash, bro. I don't know. Yeah. This is a weird discussion for us to be having, but it is. I don't think it's a bad take.
I'm not saying it's not disagreeable, except for the 2% of people out there who are going on walks regularly with their dogs off leashes. You're stupid. For
what it's worth, this morning is the first time easily since I've moved to Cincinnati that I saw a dog off the leash. That is so funny that you say that.
Really?
So it was a guy walking out of the house. And he just got onto the sidewalk and looked like he was gonna be walking with the dog. And I looked. I was like, it's like a pretty big dog. I don't know what kind of dog it was. It wasn't a German Shepherd. It wasn't a pit bull. But it was a big boy, right? Mm-hmm. And I drive by. Speed limit's 25 on my street. So, not that fast. I'm driving by, and I'm like, he's right near there. He's right near the road. And as I drive by, I look in my review. He walks in the road, and here comes a car. Dead serious. I'm like, God. The car stopped. And I told Kat, I was like, that's insane that you just made your dog either force someone to stop or get hit. One of the two. Yep. Because you don't want to have a leash. Because you want to be special. I'm too special. We're just cool like that, you know?
Not my dog.
You know, and we're mysterious, mystique. You know, we don't need the leash. You know, that's usually what it is if we're being honest with ourselves here. Mm-hmm. It's those hippie nature, man bun, kombucha stuff, those kinds of people who are just nah, man, we don't need the leash. Whatever.
I think you do.
That's fine until it gets in front of my car. So.
Yep, and that's what. Just to fully cap the situation. I was attempting, while balancing two dogs, we have dog pepper spray that I carry when we go on walks for this reason.
Wow.
And I was attempting to get that. I was ready to
packing heat, hopefully. Like you said. Packing heat.
What am I gonna do? I've never seen your dog before. I'm not gonna spray your dog. Oh my God! I'm not gonna spray your dog just because it walked up to me. But if your 60-pound dog is sprinting at me, I'm not just gonna stand there either.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
For some reason, because of what I was just talking about in terms of you either put me in a situation to slam on my brakes or hit you, it made me remember that in my college town, which does have a massive homelessness problem, and I feel a lot of sympathy for those people, it is well known within the citizens of that town, the homeless people in the downtown area would just walk out anywhere and be like, I don't care, hit me, or just stop. And there was one time where I'm talking foot and a half or so, maybe, from hitting this guy. Really close. And I lay into the horn, and I'm like... And he has the nerve to look back at me and mock me going... I'm like, you don't understand! You might be dead if I didn't do that!
Were for my reactions, you would be in a hospital.
If it was not for the fact that I'm a freaking great driver... Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Because now it's now something's going to happen. If it wasn't for the fact that I see myself as a good driver, in that moment I was being a good driver, if nothing else. In that moment I was being a good driver. Because there's cars parked on the side of the street, so I'm driving along cars. I don't even see this guy. I barely see this guy, and I slam on the brakes as I'm going to work. And So I just go, and he does it back at me. I'm like, I texted Kat. I was like, it wasn't even being funny. I'm being dead serious. I'm like, I'm going to hit a homeless person one of these times. So just like mentally prepare for this. I'm going to hit a homeless guy. Sincerely? It was that much of a problem. I'm not going to try to, but it's going to happen. It's that bad of a problem during the summers. So
sincerely, one of my biggest fears when I first got my driver's license was that I was going to accidentally like run over somebody. Like they were going to just stop in the middle of the road, and I wasn't going to see him, or some suicidal guy. I was just going to be like, "This is it," and walk into the middle of the road, and I was going to hit him. I was like, "Oh God, like I hope not." Do you think if you were homeless, would you commit a crime to go to jail?
I've wondered about that. So
I would.
I was talking about this conversation with one of my friends, and apparently a lot of homeless people consciously do or subconsciously do this. It is a thing. It's a known and researched thing. They will do this because it's one thing in their life where they can exert control over other people. I'm going to walk in the road and you're going to stop. You're not going to hit me with your car. And I'm like, that's all well and good until the guy's on their phone.
Until the guy don't. Yeah.
Like, you're really putting a lot of faith in the drivers of anywhere. I've been, like, have fun trying that in Ohio, bro. I live in Ohio, and have fun trying that here,
God.
bro.
Buckeye drivers, oh my God.
Have fun trying that here, bro. You will get collapsed.
The worst.
So, yeah. You know, nothing against the homeless people, though. I wish them nothing but the best. A lot of sympathy for them. But, like, I thought for a couple of years that I'm like, I'm going to whack a homeless guy one of these days. It's going to happen. I'm going to whack a guy. It's not going to be my fault, and it's an at-fault state, so I'm going to be just fine. But he's not going to be fine. He's not going to be fine. It is what it is.
Maybe he would have wanted that.
There's a weird scenario there where you have to wonder if that's the case, right?
Right. So, that's what I'm saying.
Getting a little off topic, but that's okay. We can just pivot real quick. You know, don't want to go too far off the rails. This is not the Off the Rails podcast,
contrary to
despite how it might seem.
Yes. Yep. Buddy, are there products? There surely are products, things.
Jump right into it.
Are there products or whatever that you're like, you know what? I have to have the name brand of this product, or else.
I exist on both sides of the spectrum. There are products where I'm like, give me this brand, or I will kill myself. Michael Scott quote. I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to kill myself.
These girls are so beautiful. I'm going to kill myself.
Hey, yo. Sean Kingston.
Hey, yo.
You are so beautiful.
Girl, you're so fine. I'm going to kill myself.
There are brands that I'm like, I have to have the name brand. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And there are other brands where I'm so far on the other side of like, you are so stupid to need the name brand of that. It is so dumb.
Okay, I'm excited because I think we might clash on some of these. So what's one of your you have to have it name brands? What do you mean?
Well, we accidentally alluded to it earlier when you mentioned that this is not one for you. We were playing video games and this came up. It is one, sort of.
Okay.
I've branched out over the years, but it's 4 years for ketchup. If it was not Heinz ketchup, I did not want it in my fridge. Come to find out, it more so is reality that there are just some brands that are really bad, or off brands that are bad, store brands. Walmart, terrible. Kroger, terrible. Hunt's, I hate to say, but it's terrible. It's terrible, dude. I hate to say it because it's like a whole like company. It's like people's livelihood.
What do you eat?
I'm like, it's terrible. It's the worst ketchup ever.
It sounds like you only eat Heinz.
There are some organic variants out there that are pretty good. Heinz has an organic that's good. I mean, it's Heinz still. But like Great Value has organic ketchup. Really good compared to the regular especially. So it is probably what sparked this conversation for me. I'm like, you have anything like this? Yeah. Heinz ketchup, bro. I will usually die on that hill. But I'm actually not even 100% sure that I have Heinz in my fridge right now because my wife just likes to not care because she doesn't care. I can't confirm that I have Heinz right now. But, yeah, what's one for you where you have to have the name brand?
One for me that I'll stick on the condiment train is ranch. Wow. I personally don't like Hidden Valley Ranch like at all. I think it's one of the
crazy.
I think it's one of the worst ranches. Specifically, the ranch I do look for. I like Buttermilk Ranch. Period. I like Buttermilk Ranch the best.
It's better.
So like that's my hierarchy. Any other ranch, any name brand, any brand, whatever. Buttermilk Ranch, any brand is better. I prefer Great Value, actually. Great Value's
that.
Buttermilk ranch.
I think I
it's the
keep
best.
Kroger. I think we do Kroger buttermilk ranch.
That's
what
fine
we
too.
typically do. It's really good.
That's fine too.
I didn't realize how much better buttermilk ranch was until like a year or two ago. Because I'm generally the kind of person to where, unless I've just experimented a lot, if I'm like, I want ranch, I'm going to buy the ranch. If I want ketchup, well, I guess not with ketchup. If I want Miracle Whip as an example, do you like Miracle Whip? Where are you at on that argument? Some people hate it, some people love it.
Don't use it enough to have an opinion.
Indifferent?
I don't really use it.
I substitute mayonnaise for it, for everything. I don't use mayo, I use Miracle Whip. But like store-brand Miracle Whip is really good. But if there's like a funky version, they're like Miracle Whip Light. Or like Light Ranch is an example. I'm like, I'm never, ever going to buy that. And then one time they were out of regular ranch, and my options were like light or buttermilk. I was like, I guess buttermilk. And I was like, wow, this is way better, actually. I'm really glad that this happened.
Yeah.
But that's funny you say that because it was my example of things that I don't think – I don't need the brand, dude. I don't think there's bad ranch out there.
Ketchup is on my list of I don't really care.
No
also,
way, man.
I don't eat ketchup enough to – I eat ketchup so rare that I use ketchup that it probably – I almost shouldn't even have that opinion.
Yeah.
But ketchup is on my list of like I don't care. If it's ketchup, I will eat it. That's just how it goes.
I eat a lot less of it now than I did like when my wife and I first started dating. I was going through a family-sized bottle like once a month, which is like – doesn't sound like a lot maybe in the grand scheme. 12 family-sized bottles of ketchup a year for basically one person is a ton of ketchup.
It's a lot of ketchup. Over a year, though, so
12 family-sized bottles?
One a month? Yeah,
absolutely.
It was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. Yeah. I was eating ketchup with at least one meal a day because I was getting like chicken nuggets or chicken sandwiches every single meal.
Some kind of fries. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Another one that is new for me. It's literally brand new, like within the past month. Toilet paper. I used to not care. I used to get literally what's the cheapest toilet paper? Not like literally one ply, but like I would get Great Value or whatever. Mm-hmm. And recently I was like, you know what? Screw it. Let's spend a little bit extra money and get like the Charmin Ultra Soft, dude. And it is nice.
Have you had the off-brand Ultra Soft?
I think that's what we were
literally. Is it really?
I think.
I'm never gonna. Dude,
I gotta say, I think the Charmin Ultra Soft, dude. It's like the little tears in it are like ruffled. They're like this. Are you tearing?
Oh my god, dude.
Do I care about that? No. Does it make a difference when you're wiping
you
your butt? No. But it's nice, and that's one that I foresee. To contrast that, paper towels, I'm always like, just get whatever. I'm not the guy buying. I'm not gonna buy Bounty paper towels because it's Bounty. So that might be kind of weird, but I mean, one of them I'm touching my butt with, and the other one
no, for sure. So. That's interesting. I'm gonna say kind of a hot take there because, like I said, I feel so not strongly about it, or I guess I feel strongly enough about it from my convictions that I'm not taking your word for it. I'm not gonna buy the name brand toilet paper. I'm just not. I'm not even gonna try it once just to see how worth it might be. That's because of how content I am right now. So I think that's crazy. That's a crazy take. Dude.
A discussion that we must have on this podcast at some point because whether you know it or not, this is a debate.
Okay.
And it's not one that I think you want to have, but it's one we need to have.
Great. Love those.
Is how do you wipe?
I don't want to have that debate. You're correct. I don't want to have that debate. Why do we need to have that?
It is a debate in my family. It is apparently a popular debate. For reference,
right. That's not a debate I want to have. It's just not. It's just.
We can talk about it later, but for reference, apparently some people stand up to wipe.
Huh?
Apparently, some people stand up to wipe.
Dude, I did that when I was a little kid until my parents learned. Why are you doing that? Stop doing that.
I don't understand.
I'm talking like two and a half. When I was told like, why are you doing that? Stop.
Have you ever tried a bidet, or would you?
Have I know what I mean, why not? I'm known for the fact that unless it can harm me, talking like illegal medicines, don't want to say the word that YouTube and Spotify doesn't like, illegal medicines, substances, right? Unless it's that kind of thing, I will try anything once unless it will harm me.
Okay, I think it's
so. Yeah, I would absolutely try it.
I haven't tried one, but I would. I like the arguments of like you get mud on your shirt. What are you going to use to get it off? You're going to wipe it with a paper towel? No. So like. I'm tempted. I'm tempted to try it, but I have not. Apparently some people stand up to wipe. That's something I'll talk about more later. I'll give another headache about it. Bro. It's so stupid, dude. I don't understand it at all.
What a dumb thing.
If you stand up to wipe, I automatically question your ability to do
Is this people in your family? You don't have to dox them.
Yeah,
That's insane.
There are multiple.
You probably shouldn't tell me. because I would probably judge. You probably should not.
I do. I'm like, what? Why? Like, that's your thought process? Like, I don't understand.
You're squeezing stuff together when you stand up, making it worse.
And my reason for bringing up the bidet is like a bidet would not exist if you were standing up to wipe. But
Correct.
Shoot across the room.
There's the assumption that, oh my God, that's so ridiculous. Let's get off that part of the subject.
What's another one you got?
I would not buy name brand toilet paper. What's one that I need the name brand for? Yes?
Or either way.
I got a specific one. And it's like, you might not have even had the off-brands of this. I have had the off-brands of this enough to say definitively, don't even waste your freaking time.
Okay.
Doritos.
Okay.
Do not buy Kroger or Walmart or Food Lion or Whole Foods.
I can believe that.
Or Trader Joe's Doritos. None of them. Okay? It's been years since I've even tried because they're that bad. And you're like, it's just a corn chip with nacho cheese. Nah, dude. There's something secret that Lay's has in that powder to where if you're like, Doritos, yes, and you're like expecting a Dorito, you will be massively disappointed. It's terrible. Terrible. If I show up to the cookout and they've got Doritos, and then I bite into one, and I'm going to immediately know if it's an off-brand Dorito. It's terrible. Don't waste your time. It is one that I will die on the hill of. Get the freaking name brand Doritos. You're saving like 40 cents anyways.
Right, exactly. One that I have on my list to go along with that. And this one's probably like, buddy, you probably are being a little too bougie. Okay. Just pop. I would much rather have Dr. Pepper than Dr. Thunder. Okay?
That is on my list.
If I go to the party and you have Dr. Thunder, I'm not going to be like, I'm not drinking this. Mm-hmm. It's not that serious. But I'm never going to buy Dr. Thunder. I'm going to get the Dr. Pepper.
The cookout. And I grew up kind of poorer, I will say. Right? Poorer. I'm not like, I was dirt poor. But like, we were buying the off-brand stuff anytime we could. And I didn't think twice about it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's fine. I think that's totally fine. Even if you're not struggling financially, if you're like, I'm going to buy the off-brand. I mean, I do still buy off-brand stuff of some things, right?
Right.
Off-brand soda, in very specific scenarios, is on my list of things where I could not care less about the name brand. Specifically, again, at a cookout. If I'm at a party or something like that, and I show up, and there's typically 2 liters. That's typically people do, right? Maybe you've got coolers with cans in and stuff like that. Even then, that's fine. Mm-hmm. And I see off-brand sodas, not going to think twice about it. And the reason it's on my list to say is because I know there are people, which you express that you're not one of, who are like, I will only drink Coke. I know someone who will only drink Coke. He will not drink Pepsi. He will not drink Sam's Cola, Big K. I don't even know if they still call it that. Is it still Big K? Is it still Big K?
I think it is. I think Big K still exists.
Dude, Big K apple soda. A shout out to that. It used to be like 63 cents for a 2-liter that when I was a kid.
Man.
They discontinued it. Can you believe like the prices we used to have as a child? God. Sidebar. People are like, why is our generation so depressed? And people keep quote tweeting it and being like, I earn 3 times more than my parents did and am half as financially stable. It's so dumb.
Yep.
And that's an example of that. I remember like, dude, that was like 60 something cents for a 2-liter. If it was like a big game like the Super Bowl or something like that, we would pick our own 2-liter. That's how freaking cheap they were. Every kid pick your 2-liter, right?
That's
of the big
That's awesome.
Right? I get the apple soda. So good. I still love apple soda. Apparently it's a Mexican thing. It's really good. If you ever see apple soda, try it. It's really, really good.
Okay.
All that to say, I'm not going to keep off-brand soda in my house. I don't typically keep soda in my house anyways, but if I do, it's because I got a specific craving. Or there's a new soda I'm just dying to try. Or Mountain Dew Game Fuel comes back out. God, that stuff is good. But if I show up to the cookout and you've got the off-brand sodas, that's cool. That's not a problem at all. Not even a bit of a problem.
I promise I'm not gonna make a comment about it at all. I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna drink it.
There are people who will.
Am I ever buying it? No. Am I gonna fret over you buying it? No. My biggest that I will preach non-name brand.
Non-name brand.
And this is from my father-in-law. Taught me this.
Okay.
Car batteries, which is really weird.
That is so freaking Appalachian of you to say.
My wife's car battery died one time when we were living in Knoxville. And somehow, I didn't, call him, help. Because YouTube, how to change a car battery, if you don't know. Yeah. But somehow he knew in that process that we were looking for a car battery. And he said, if you go to Advanced Auto and pay $200 for a car battery, I will shoot you. He said you need to go to Walmart, find a battery that fits in your compartment and has round about the same cold cranking amps, and you're going to spend at most half, and that is true. If you're right now, your car, whatever make model it is, you search like on Advanced Auto, the battery, I promise you, it's probably a $200 battery they want you to get. You go to Walmart, I promise you're spending $60 for that battery. And is it technically going to last 5 years like the one claims to at Advanced Auto? Probably not. But also, it's not going to last 1 year to where you'd have to replace it so often that it would equal the cost of that Advanced Auto battery. So ever since then, I've changed a few car batteries in my life. I always just go to Walmart, get one that fits in my battery bay. There you go. And it has around about the same power. I promise you're spending less than half.
Here's the interesting thing that I'm going to throw into this conversation. Is the implication that it's going to last as long too?
No, I don't know.
That's like to me where the money in the name brand comes in.
Yes. I do know that like if you buy the Advanced Auto battery, they probably say like, you know, a certain year guarantee, maybe a longer warranty, like whatever, all this stuff. The Walmart battery is not claiming it's going to last a year, obviously. But I think, like, I don't know if common sense is the word, but, like, I don't expect my $60 battery to last as long as the $200 battery. Again, it's not so different to where I've had one in my truck for 2 years now. It's going fine. And I don't know the overall average lifespan of a car battery, if it is 5 years or whatever. But, again, the money you're saving,
I've never had
from
to
my
change
experience,
one. Like, this is crazy.
Say what?
I've never had to change one, ever. I know my childhood car, we had to change it like one time, I remember.
There was one time, we've had a few different, I specifically have had a few different cars, and one of them in my wife's car, she left the lights on accidentally.
Yep.
Drained the battery. And then the two I've changed from me, they were just, eventually went bad, and I changed the batteries.
Yep. Yeah. I find that interesting because you're acknowledging that you're on the side of like, I will die on the hill of buying the crap batteries, the lower brand,
the non-name brand batteries. Yep.
But you acknowledge like there is potential value in the higher end ones as well. If they last longer.
I don't think it's worth it. Not so long that it's like, oh, yes, I'm spending $220 here, but it's lasting 5 years. I'm spending $60 here, and they're lasting me a year and a half. Like, that would obviously, like, equal out. I might as well just buy the $220 battery. It doesn't.
You don't think it's like that.
No.
Dang, that's crazy, bro. I say that, now I'm going to have to change my car battery, too. Never had to. It's never been a thing that's came up, so.
It's easy.
Yeah.
It's
I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about paying for it. I don't want to buy a car battery. So
they're freaking heavy. That's honestly the biggest thing. You go to Walmart.
Yeah, they're heavy.
Dude,
I've picked one up before.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, they like bring you down and you pick it up. But there you go.
I've got one more that I'm really like. I've got kind of an obscure one that I do prefer the name brand for, and it's so lame. It's like, really? What a dumb answer. And it's not bagels.
I was going to say, if it's bagels, I am going to cut my feed.
That being said, you would not believe where I found the best store-bought bagels. You know who the best store-bought bagels are? You know who? You know who they are? You know who has the best store-bought bagels?
I don't know, because I don't know what you're going to define as a store.
You can just say who. A store-bought bagel? You go to the grocery store and buy them.
Who?
Dollar Tree. The best store-bought bagels that you cannot find anywhere else.
Joking.
Dead serious.
How does Dollar Tree even have bagels?
Don't even know. One time in my college town, I was at Dollar Tree. They had bread products, but it's like, you know, a quarter loaf of bread and stuff like that, right? And somehow or another, the bagels caught my eye. Shocker.
You are obsessed.
And I picked it up. They're the best breakfast food, bro. They're so freaking good. And you're just a hater. Can you just admit you've got your hater hat on when you talk about bagels? Can we admit that? Can we be honest with ourselves?
I will admit that I lean more towards hating bagels. If you could admit you lean more towards obsessive bagels.
I didn't hear that. More towards what?
I lean more towards the I hate bagels. You lean more towards I'm obsessed with bagels.
Number one breakfast food. Absolutely. Yeah.
I have never
heard
of
one of my top 5 foods ever.
Remotely as much as you.
One of my top 5 foods ever. It's that northern in me, bro. It's that part northern. So you don't know how prominent they are in like American culture. There are sections of this country that are huge for bagels. I'm not wrong. What is so freaking funny?
You don't know how important bagels are to the history of Pennsylvania, okay?
saying.
No, I don't.
They had the cream cheese, so maybe you're right. Philadelphia cream cheese, right? Anyways, I'm in Dollar Tree. The bagels catch my eye, and so I'm like, hey, these look really interesting. And they have like a label on them. You ever see bread labels? And you're like, that looks like they're trying to be fancy. The Dollar Tree bagels have that. It's 3 bagels instead of like 6 or 12, right? Or 4. It's 4 bagels. And I'm like, huh. And they specifically mentioned like boiled and hearth baked. That is specifically what will separate a good bagel from a bad one, typically. Is like if you go to freaking Panera Bread, if I see a Panera bagel, I do not want it. You know why? That is bread shaped like a bagel. That is not what bagels are.
Okay.
Which is something that you can't seem to get past either. Can we be honest with ourselves? You're like, it's bread. It's not bread. Just bread. It's not one for one bread.
No.
It's a different kind. Just like sourdough is not the same as like rye bread. It's bread. Would you ever say that for those two?
They are all bread at the end of the day, and if you're that
yes,
picky over
it is a bread product.
then I think you're putting too much effort into it.
I would never say wheat bread. That's sourdough, right? So why would you give me regular white bread and say that's a bagel? It's not. It's not. It's just you just shaped it like a bagel. It's not a bagel. It doesn't taste like it. I can taste it. You could taste it. So. Is there a reason you've got such a freaking snide grin on your face right now? What is your problem?
Just listening to you talk about bagels.
No, let's air this out. Let's air this out. What is your freaking problem with bagels?
The young love
How could you possibly hate bagels
when you're talking about bagels, dude? It's like second to none. I don't understand. I can't think of a food that I am obsessed with so much that I could just talk about this many times to this degree to
I'd
this
rather talk about like ramen or pizza. I could talk about any food like this. It's just bagels come up sometimes. So Dollar Tree
bagels. That's the entry.
Actually, no, it's not. It just came up. Sorry. What, bro?
Because it had to. Because,
don't act like so inconvenienced that your podcast host has things to say.
You can't not bring up bagels.
I would love to see a tally how many episodes we've brought up bagels. It's not more than 4. It's not more than 4 episodes we've brought up bagels.
We have talked about bagels in more than 4 episodes, I promise.
No
Even
shot.
if it's just one sentence, you talk about bagels.
It is 4 or less. This might be the 5th. This might be the 5th.
It's not 4 or less.
Maybe. Okay. Currently speaking, yes, it is. This ain't an episode right now. We're recording. This ain't a freaking episode yet.
So
this
what is the actual 5th entry? And what does bagels have to do? If
Almond
bagels has nothing to do with
chocolate milk is the best chocolate milk. If I'm buying chocolate milk for me to have, I want Almond Breeze chocolate milk.
That's all the proof I needed to hear, is that it had nothing to do with bread. It wasn't even a solid. It was a freaking liquid that you were actually going to talk about. And for some reason, you just can't. It's like bagels has a gun to the back of your head, like, talk about us. You better bring us up. You're talking about
we talked about milk last week, bro. What are you saying F me for?
Is that what you just said? The chocolate milk?
I like it for breakfast.
That's fine. How?
Almond Breeze.
Can you not talk about chocolate milk without bringing up bagels at the same establishment?
I was talking about weird ones that I've got where I'm like, I figured out this is my favorite. I figured out this is the best. Because I do that. I do that with items that I like and keep in my house. I'm like, I'm going to try all of them if I can.
I just don't understand. That would have been me. I might as well have the entire store of Walmart is at my disposal. Whenever I said I like Great Value Ranch.
Don't buy any bagels.
If I would have said, like the Great Value lemons, I won't buy them. What? It has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
I guess. I don't know what provoked me to say that. Something provoked me of like one of the weird things I found out.
Who do you think leans more? Do you think I lean more towards hating bagels than you do with being obsessed with them?
Absolutely close. Dude, ask my wife. They don't come up that often. I don't even get them that often. I had bagels like twice a month at most.
You said like 2 weeks ago that one of your life goals, it was one of your priorities, was
not
to
priority. Not a priority.
You literally said,
as
long as I land in a city with good coffee and bagels, I'm happy.
Yeah, it's an experience like second to none to have like a nice breakfast to start your day with your favorite items. It is.
But so don't back to back say, I kind of like bagels. It is what it is. And man, it was one of the criteria.
It was one of my top 5 favorite foods of all time. Top 5 favorites.
Fried chicken is my favorite food of all time.
What if you live somewhere where you could not find good fried chicken? Or make it, because I can't make bagels. That's the difference. I got to count on other people. See what I'm saying? What is the deal?
You couldn't make bagels at home? I'm surprised you haven't.
I don't think you can. You need like a hearth.
You can make bread at home.
Or
Surely
hearth,
you can
however
make
say
it. Surely you can
I
make
don't
bagels.
think I can make bagels. And
I'm
also,
gonna get you a bagel
it's
maker.
No, it's not worth my time either. You know how much time you're wasting making bagels? That's because just go to the freaking bagel place. You know?
You are definitely more obsessed with them than I dislike them, and
Bro.
that's
I've
why my
never seen someone
disdain comes
hate on a
forth.
food as much as you're in the Bagel Hater Club, the president of it.
That's why my
New
disdain
nickname,
comes
president of
forth.
the Bagel Hater
Is
Club.
because of how obsessed you are. I'm like, my God, that's
You're
how
wrong.
we're about bagels.
You're dead wrong. I'm more obsessed with pizza and chicken sandwiches and stuff like that.
But
It just
most
doesn't come up as
people,
often.
more people are obsessed with pizza than they are bagels. No.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm not gonna. This guy likes pizza. What a loser! I'm not gonna say that a lot. 99% of the world loves pizza.
But
this guy can't.
Bagels.
This guy can't talk about the chocolate milk at Dollar Tree without bringing up their bagels. I'm gonna say that. That's weird. You are upset. You are in bed with bagels.
I'm not.
I don't
but
get
I
it.
would be if I was. I would. That's how you know I'm telling the
promise
truth here.
for Valentine's
It's because if I
Day-
was, I'd say yes. If you're like, bro, you are obsessed with Pokemon or the freaking Bengals. Like you can't go without. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I can't. You're right. I
You are
can't.
more obsessed with bagels.
You're so out of pocket and dead wrong.
You are. If you like bagels, that's fine. I don't agree that they're one of your top 5 foods of all time. I think that's crazy. Whatever. Food is food. It's so subjective. Mm-hmm. But the fact that I don't know what more proof I need. You were talking about a drink, a chocolate milk from Dollar Tree, and you couldn't help but bring up bagels.
Bagels already on my mind.
That's
They
all
came
the
up
proof you
earlier,
need.
bro.
That's all the proof
They
you need.
came up earlier.
That doesn't mean they have to come up again, but you made them
I
come
just
up
thought
again.
of this. It's interesting that the best store-bought bagels you can buy with like regular stores at your disposal, Target, Walmart, Kroger, Food Lion, Whole Foods, the best store-bought bagels you can buy for my money, Dollar Tree.
That is weird. That is weird.
It's interesting.
I find it hard to believe that your chocolate milk take is accurate as well. I'm like, Dollar Tree has the best blank? That's weird.
That's not even what I said.
Hey.
Almond Breeze, chocolate almond breeze. It's a brand. You can buy it anywhere.
Then why'd you say Dollar Tree?
I don't remember what provoked it. Something provoked Dollar Tree in my mind.
Bagels provoked it. They're just constantly. They're constantly on the back. They're like a tumor. They're like a tumor on your brain, and they constantly are like filtering into like 5% of your thoughts. So
Even if
eventually
they
they're
did,
gonna
who
get through.
cares?
Like, hey, bro, talk about us. Talk about bagels. Bring us up. It's been 5 minutes. Talk about Dollar Tree for some reason. You know why? That makes no sense why you have to bring up Dollar Tree. But you know why? Because bagels are there, and you like the bagels at Dollar Tree, don't you,
dude? You do not want to live a day with the mind of Shapirian. It's bouncing all over at all hours of the day and night. What made me go down a certain path to find something that in my mind I'm like, this is kind of interesting. I should mention this. Bro, it could have been anything.
Could have been bagels.
You've earlier today, I went from like, have you seen this? To like, do you like Family Guy? Like, out of nowhere. Like a
Very
little
random.
kid does. You're
Very
like,
random.
what is that? What are you doing?
But those are my favorite conversations. So when people just like, what do you think
Unless
about
it's
this?
bagels!
Like,
Screw the bagels!
If you want to genuinely
I talk about
randomly
it!
bring up bagels, that's fine, but you have to. It feels like you have to.
Dude, it's not that often.
It feels like
You're
you got
wrong.
like a clicker, and if you don't reach a bagel quota per day, it's like, I gotta talk about bagels.
When's the last time before today that we talked about bagels? The last episode, we talked about my favorite foods. Before that one was the last time. A while.
Obviously, I'm over-exaggerating a tad.
Thank you. That's all I wanted to get out of you. I've won this conversation. That's all I wanted.
No, that's not how this works.
That's all I wanted.
That's not how this works.
Was for you to acknowledge you're exaggerating,
I
bro.
won't back down from saying you're obsessed with bagels.
Never back down, never what?
I won't back down from saying you are obsessed with bagels. That you are the most
You acknowledge
bagel.
you're exaggerating. That's all I needed.
Okay. That's fine. Obviously, I'm exaggerating
Some
by
other
saying you
things.
have to talk about
Yeah.
bagels every chance you get. Yes. You're not.
Yes.
I'm not over-exaggerating by saying you are the most bagel-driven person I've ever seen.
That's a compliment, bro. I freaking love that you think that way about me.
Oh my god.
Where all my other bagel bros out there? Where you at?
To cap it off this week,
What else you got? Anything
to
else?
cap it off, we're gonna put a Q&A out there. Sound off. I was drinking some wine before this episode aired, or before this episode was recorded, and he said, "How bougie?" Shapirian said, "How bougie of you?" I was like, "Not as bougie as your bagels." And so the conversation started of which is more bougie, wine or bagels.
And the fact that you think you stand a shot. If And here's the thing, bro. Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Go ahead.
I'm very confident in this poll going my way. Very confident.
Okay.
But can we acknowledge there's like a number of people that need to answer this poll before we know it's not just people close to us voting with the side that they want.
That's what would happen.
For the person they want.
Yeah.
That's my concern.
If we put this
like,
poll out, that's
like
what's
100 people or so, but like the odds of us getting that are you know, low.
I will concede whatever the word is right now that wine quickly gets more bougie than bagels. Quickly. I think the average wine drinker versus the average bagel enjoyer, the bagel enjoyer is probably more bougie. The bagel enjoyer is probably like, I want the bagel with this, and that on it. And the wine drinker is probably like, give me a red wine.
Okay. I don't agree. Bagels are definitely less bougie than wine. Wine is definitely more bougie.
We'll see.
Definitely more bougie. All I did, you said I'm more obsessed than you are a hater, by the way. All I did was like, how bougie of you? And you're like, not as bougie as bagels. We weren't talking about bagels.
That's fair.
We weren't talking about bagels.
You got me there.
Thank you.
You do got me there.
Bro, what? Where did that come from?
I'm not saying I'm not a hater. I'm just saying however much you think I'm hating, that's how much you are obsessed, at least. What else you got for us, Pat? Anything else? Where can they sound off and tell us these
Don't buy the off-brand. Buy the off-brand toothpaste. Even if you need sensitive toothpaste, like I do. Buy the sensitive off-brand toothpaste. Dude, if you don't have sensitive teeth, you know how bad it freaking hurts. It hurts terribly.
I believe you.
It hurts so bad.
Okay.
Yeah. Buy the off-brand toothpaste. That's it. I'm just gonna, because we're over time.
That's his closing statements for the week. Buy the off-brand.
That's it. What you got? Anything else? Any others?
Mommy, Daddy, Nene, McDonald's.
Nana McDonald's.
Mommy, Daddy, Nana
McDonald's.
Nana McDonald's.
Shout out Nana, bro. Shout out Nana.
I promise, I've thought of that every time I've eaten McDonald's since you told me that. I love it.
Mommy, Daddy, Nana McDonald's. We don't need to give context on it. No context.
Nope, that's it. Be wondering on that for the week.
We'll leave you with that. Anything else, pal? Who day, baby?
Bagels are more bougie than wine. Peace, baby.
Incorrect.